All right, so we're live here on Facebook, Apple, Spotify, all of the outlets. Welcome to the Power of Ownership podcast. This is your host, Brandon B. Dixon, and you're tuned in right now. I got my guest host, Stephen Contreras,
Hey guys, how you doing?
as well. Um, we're gonna wait for a couple of people to come in. We're not gonna rush right into the show, So it's we're a little bit late this afternoon, so we're anticipating a little bit more viewership live here. So I know a lot of people like to sleep in on the weekend. Probably not our type of clientele, but it is what it is. So um, let me introduce. Let's start the introductions and everything like that. And so by the time we get to the meat of the show, people should be in. Again, my name is Brandon B. Dixon. I'm a published author, serial entrepreneur, mortgage broker. My book, Sales the Nucleus of Any Profession, it's out right now. I'm actually getting the first one framed as we speak. It should be out soon. You're gonna see it in the back there here in a second. So I'm getting it framed like triple, like in it's gonna be museum framed and all that stuff. So the very first one. That's coming real soon here. Um my website, www.hocmortgage.com has been on fire. I'd like to thank viewers and people that's been logging on, getting mortgages and investment properties, so on and so forth. Business has been crazy. We're gonna keep it going throughout the rest of the year. We got some other surprises. We got a couple of sites coming up. I got an audiobook coming up, so we got some more goodies coming for you as well. If you need us to um, book us for mentorship, sales training, um, motivational speaking, whatever, www.billionaireloanofficer.com. Also, you can call me 24/7, 832-775-8357, and at Billionaire Loan Officer on all social media. Please go ahead and like and subscribe, so on and so forth. When y'all pass through, hit the like button, please. That gives us the a couple of placements on uh when people go to search for us. Before I introduce Steven Contreras, one other thing, don't forget to hit the cash app, dollar sign the power of ownership. If you like what we're doing, you support the positive people that want to win with positivity, and the 1%ers is overachievers. If this is your vibe, go ahead and support the Power of Ownership podcast. Steve, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you, and let's go ahead and introduce the show. Let's get it rolling.
Hey guys, I'm Stephen Contreras here, a geologist in Houston, Texas. Kind of like a Renaissance man, studier of the arts and sciences. Trying to help people in this crazy time that we live in. There's so much stuff going on in the world. Everyone has to be ready. You can find me at Instagram, Stephen underscore Contreras underscore 90, and Stephen Contreras on Facebook, spreading peace, love, and positivity everywhere we can go.
Gotcha. So let's go ahead and get into the show real quick. The Power of Ownership podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, what we talk about is not only ownership of properties and intellectual properties, digital properties, and so on and so forth, but we talk about ownership of the mind, body, and soul. We talk about how to bridge the gap between the unseen and the seen realm. A lot of people talk either or. They talk prosperity, they don't talk how to get the prosperity. Unseen, they talk, and it's woo woo, and they'll talk all right practical. So we bridge the gap between both realms, and we teach you how to use your full potential in order to create your own reality. So this is basically what we talk about on this show. Um, I was coming up, and I don't know if it's the end of the month or whatever, because this is, in my business, mortgages. Um, July, August, right before school is like the busiest time. Everybody want to move. Everybody want to get into their school districts. Everybody want to take advantage of investment property, so on and so forth. So it's the craziest time. So I don't know if it was the end of the month, but I came across a lot of people thinking that negativity, being negative, or resorting to um, attitudes or being mean actually would help their situation, or help them prosper or help them get their goal accomplished. It doesn't. So we're gonna name this show "Negativity Begat Negativity." We're gonna talk about how one plus one equals two, not one minus one equals two. That doesn't make sense. There's a plus and a minus for a particular purpose. So we're gonna talk about this. I'll let Steve go ahead and open it up, and what you got on that, and then we're gonna go ahead and expand on how it relates to business, how it relates to your personal life, so on and so forth.
Yeah, thanks, Brandon. Yeah, so negativity. Hold on, my cat keeps. Yeah, negativity. It's very draining. You can't live life being negative all the time. Most people live their life being negative, not even consciously realizing they're being negative. But it's awful. It's an awful presence to have. It's draining on everything and everybody around you. Negativity is not the way to go. It's all about positivity. If you can try to keep positivity even in the worst situations, it'll always be a better, I guess, a better answer to your situation than negativity would be, because positivity always gives you options. Negativity will only go one way usually. If you're always positive, a lot of things can always pop up in different situations. You get different reactions from people. Positivity can always change someone's life, even if they don't even know it. Positivity just keeps everything going full circle. If we're always negative all the time, the world would just stop because there'd be no purpose. So positivity is the light in everyone's life, and I really think people should try to live by it.
Right, right. My thing is with this is that with negativity, it I think people is easy. It's the reptilian brain. It's the easiest part of this particular third density existence. It's that reptilian brain. It automatically is survival. It's fight, flee, or feast.
Yeah,
It's the three F's, and it goes to show lack of maturity, lack of training, lack of self discipline, lack of evolution, lack of evolving as a species, as a human being, as a man, as a woman. When your first instinct is to be, your first reaction is to be negative. That's the base level. You know,
yeah,
you, that's childish.
yeah. It's
That's
lower level chakra stuff.
right. So that's if you're, it doesn't show any growth. First of all, second, I'm a big etymology nut. I love etymology. If you look at the etymology of the word mean, it means to act poor. Literally, it means to act poor and childish.
Yeah, average too, right?
It means to act poor because think about it. When you say I'm making, by any means, I'm trying to live beyond my means. Means is like just getting by. So it stems from that word. All right, you're being mean. You're
Hmm.
being mean. It means you're being like you're just getting by. You're acting poor. You're acting poorly. You're not acting like an upstanding, upper class, a classy person.
Yeah, a gentleman, right?
Right. So when you be mean to people and you be mean to, you know, uh, employees, employers, and stuff like that, that means you're acting poor. So people got it actually reversed. People think people that's rich are mean. It's actually the opposite. When you're rich, you should be full of. You're happy because you're living out your creation.
Hmm. That's
You know,
why, if you see the Joker movie, a lot of people in society are always blaming the richer people, But
right,
I mean, they built this world for themselves, How can you blame them for working hard?
right. So I mean, so if you really look at it, analyze it, people with attitudes, people that's always want to fight, the first instance, the first reaction is to fight. The first reaction is a negative. I'm going to look down upon you. Let's take it a leave it even further before I go into this point. If you read the code But that's all the Bible is a code. It's coded parables for real life situations. If you read the code in the Bible, it said that Satan was an angel and he got kicked out of heaven because he wouldn't bow down to the creation of man. Correct? All the
Yeah,
angels, the rest of the angels bowed down, and he refused to bow down because he said, "I am better than he." Correct?
yeah. He wanted to rebuild the system.
Right. So he said, "I am better than he." So that was the first instance of the adversary is that I am better than somebody else. You don't know we are all a harmonious system. We all together better than yourself.
Yeah,
Everything works in checks and balances. So that attitude, and we're quick to, and I want to tie this all into business. We're quick to want to gain success so we can look down upon somebody else, and that's when your success is going to fall apart.
yeah.
Or
Because
you're going to have temporary success.
yeah, it's the laws of cause and effect. If you're building yourself up just to beat someone down, then the law of nature will
Right.
come and do its job.
Yeah, it will reverse on you.
Hmm.
So you have to be pure at heart, and your intentions have to be pure in order to build yourself up, create your reality, and maintain your reality. Because anybody can have a good play if you work.
Hmm.
If you focus long enough, anybody can have a good play. But can you sustain it? Is your heart in the right place to sustain what you built? That's the real key.
Yeah,
And so people that act negatively and try to look down upon people, this is all going to come back down on you. It's the law of cause and effect, like Stephen said, and is it the pendulum will swing. The pendulum will swing back the other way. Also, if you're first, you got to realize the universe is here for you to work for you, and it's gonna create what you subconsciously wanted to create. It is what it is. So if um you have not grown, it's gonna put you in situations to make you grow.
yeah. It'll force your hand in a way. It's that negativity actually weighs you down so heavily that it will force you in those situations. It's like the negativity. If you just hold negativity up all inside your heart, you won't be able to move because it's hurting so bad. You know.
Right.
It's all
So
that negative energy. It's stored up. It's like a potential energy, just stored up, just waiting to erupt because it's not supposed to be there.
right. People make their own self miserable.
Yeah.
You could make yourself a prisoner in the mind. You could literally be walking around here so-called free, but you could conjure enough stuff and you could conjure enough negativity by listening to everything you want, and you can become a prisoner in your own home.
Yeah.
You can become a prisoner in your own body. You can
The
become
media, the media is really good at that. Actually, create prisons for people just surrounded on negativity.
right.
Yeah.
So you have the choice. You have the free will to create what you want, to listen to what you want. So this like and it goes to with this particular the last show where we talked about as far as people going out of business and stuff like that. You can look at this negative, or you can look at it as an opportunity.
Yeah.
It's all on your perspective. Everything is about perspective. Um, it just is what it is. So you could sit there and wait and be negative and not take action, and you're going to get out what you put in. This is what it is. It's like you can't make a withdrawal without a deposit. If you're depositing negative stuff, what can you withdraw? You only can withdraw negative.
Yeah. And sadly, that's how a lot of people think, especially you know, just people in general. Their mindset has always been wired to be negative, to play that victim role, to have everything being so bad around them.
Right.
That negativity and negativity, and it's sad. That's what we're trying to do here on the show, is just try to show people sure, it might be bad around you. You might have the worst situation possible. But that doesn't mean you have to be negative.
Well,
Negativity doesn't
this
create
is the thing.
anything.
This is the thing. That's why I call this show the reprogram. I understand that this particular system has you programmed to always think negative. This is what you've been programmed to do since the theta stages of your life, the ages 1 through 7. You've been programmed to automatically think the worst. So what you have to do, you have to reprogram yourself. You have to reprogram the subconscious mind, and you do that through your daily affirmations. You do that through your ambition. Look at the word ambition. I am ambition. So you do that through your ambition, and you do that through your actions daily. You do something positive every day, and it will pay off. So and what you could do, you start reprogramming your reality, and you start to have more control over what you want to see accomplished. Now, if you sit back and wait and let everything happen, you're going to be a victim, and you're going to play the victim role. And some people like the victim role. Some people, I had to just say what it is. I just call it what it is. Some people like to sit down and talk about what somebody else did them, as opposed to taking action and doing for themselves.
Yeah, just like what we were talking about beforehand. The people who make those videos for iPhones or products, they're just talking about other people. That's
Right.
it.
So I mean, we were talking about earlier. That's a good point. We were talking about earlier, just before air, is that looking at our show, we analyzing how we can get our numbers up as far as visual. Our numbers are okay as far as audio, but visual, we're in the lowest you can get, and you got people talking about iPhones with millions of views. So people that this is a materialistic society. We want to get these material items to make us feel better. And we got some people got the iPhone 11 is going to get this 12. I don't get it. You
Yeah.
get
And,
the phone, yeah.
and they do that because they can't handle their own essence, their own negativity. So they fill themselves up with material things, which fills a void for it's like sugar. It gives you that quick rush just to fill in the bad stuff that's happening to them all around them.
Right, and they don't realize that until you grow as a person, it's the only true bliss that you'll really accomplish till you transcend the human experience.
Yeah.
I think even Kendrick Lamar said, I had a song that this drugs can't get you high like this.
Yeah.
Sex can't get you high like this. Something, everything, all these different material things can't get you high like this. When you truly levitate,
Yeah.
and when you truly go to the higher chakras, you go to the higher realm, you go to higher order of consciousness.
Yeah. It's eternal bliss.
Right, that's the true bliss. But you got to grow, and you got to become a great human being in order for that to take place. You can't be in the reptilian mind state. That's what the matrix is about. Neo stood for neocortex.
Yeah.
That's the mammalian part of the brain. That's when you start to shape. To wake up out of the dream state. It is what it is. So you got to start. You got to get out of this dream and get out of the dream and this matrix of negativity, and start to reframe, reshape your mind, and put a positive spin on it. Because this is what's going to happen. This is what I live by. Take this pragmatic, because I'm a big pragmatist. Everybody I come in contact with, I want them to have a positive experience. Everyone. Because you're going to have 3 different types of experience when you come in contact with anything. Because don't forget what we are. I'm going to get high level on you. Don't forget that we all energy. So you're either going to have a positive, you're going to have a negative, or you're going to have a neutral. And to me, neutral is negative. So I want everybody to have a positive experience. Don't forget, like on a battery, the positive charge is the most powerful charge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I kind of relate the system to martial arts in a way. Negativity just slows you down. You fight sluggish. You fight angry. You can't move right. You're enraged. You're not thinking clearly. You can't even see 5 seconds in front of you. You're fighting angry like an animal. That's what negativity does to the body. And if you can figure out how to change those negative charges to positive charges, even in, like I said, in bad situations or when someone wrongs you, you can't let it bother you. You have to take the positive road, because positivity in martial arts is like what Bruce Lee says. It's like water. You're fluid. You're thinking. You're trying to help. You're motivating. You're pushing forward. You're trying to change your circumstances. You're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead of you. You're not angry. You have full clarity, and that's what it is to live that positive lifestyle, to be able to adapt, to move, to change. You know, there's no room for negativity. We don't have that much time on this planet, and if you're spending your whole life just being negative, you're gonna get knocked out. You know. All
Right. I
right.
mean, yeah, definitely when you react negative, you're going to lose most of the time because you can't think. You're not clear headed. It clouds your judgment. It's almost like alcohol and drugs. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's almost worse than alcohol and drugs because it impairs your judgment. You can't think, like you said, 4 to 5 steps ahead. You're not clear headed. There's no light. You go to darkness at that point. So um, and it takes time. It takes training.
It
It's
does.
not something that is because we've been think about it. We've been trained since day one that you do something, you get your butt whipped. It's all you do this, I'm gonna whip your butt. What I mean?
Hmm.
Everything was a consequence, a negative consequence. And if we did something positive, oh, that's what you're supposed to do. So it's like we got more of a reaction out of the negative, and we are as energy, we get addicted to reaction. We get addicted to energy, whether it's good or bad, because when we make it's just the opposite. When we make it bad, we make good. When we make good, we make bad. It's like you said, that water, that neutrality is when you become fluid. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? So it is what it is. But just wrapping it up, I wanted to make one more point before we get out of here. I don't want to keep you at the 22 mark, probably 30 minutes today. As far as people um, that are in your particular cipher, or in your vicinity, or in your circle of friends that refuse to, you know, see anything positive, you're gonna have to detox from them. You're gonna have to heal from them. You're gonna have to get away from them. It just is what it is. Whether it's family members and or friends or whoever, if they can't add anything positive to the plate or to the pot, you can't. In order for you to be take mature as a human being, in order for you to evolve as a human being, you got to let some things go. The Christ consciousness stated that you can't get attached to anything. You have to turn your back on your mother and father to follow me.
And I do believe that that's the ultimate sacrifice.
Right. So you gotta, if they can't get with this positivity, you gotta let them go. Because what this is. It's all illusion anyway. So you got to follow the path, and that's the thing. People that's in your cipher that's always negative, always think about it. If they're always talking about so the victim, how somebody else did them, how somebody else is this, how somebody else is that, they're always talking about somebody else. What do you think they're talking about when you're not around?
Yeah.
They're
Exactly.
talking about you. So it's where it rains it pours. I mean, where there's smoke there's fire. So you're not. It's not. We got to get out of these delusions that people. You got to start calling people for what they are. It is what it. That person's a negative Nancy, a loser. Everywhere else, why do you think he's a winner with you? You judge the tree by the fruit that it bears. If every fruit that's coming off this tree is sour, something's wrong with the tree.
Yeah.
It is what it is, man.
I was going to say, I like what you were saying there. It is very true. that's how the world is. Is you have to let go of things that bring your energy down. Some things better for worse. It's definitely what you want to try to move towards. And I just want to close off with just saying too that negatives can always be turned to positives no matter what. And there's, not to get religious on you, but there's this section in the Bible that says in Matthew chapter 18, verse 21, the disciple asked Jesus, if what do I do if someone sins against me? If someone acts ill will towards me, what do I do? He's like, there's nothing you can do but just forgive them. You know, even if they consciously know it or unconsciously know it, you just always forgive. And the disciple goes on to say, how many times should I forgive him? One, two, three, four. And he says, you forgive him 70 on times 70 times. And that was just a metaphor for you forgive him until you have to. You forgive him always, because you can't, to reach the kingdom, you have to have that heart. You have to have the purity. You can't hold that negativity, even if it was meant towards you. You just have to let it go.
Right. Now,
And
a lot of people confuse forgiveness with tolerance.
for sure.
So yes, I can forgive. I don't. You're not supposed to hold with anybody that did anything wrong to you. You're not supposed to hold it. But do I have to tolerate this in my daily cipher?
The answer is no. But when people act negatively towards you, you always forgive. Is what
Yeah,
I try to get at.
definitely. Because what happens is now you're letting their particular program influence you, and you're
Mhm.
supposed to be the enlightened one. The enlightened people can't. I can't hold that. I could go ahead and forgive them as far as action, but um, you don't want to. It would be a regression on your part to start hanging around them now.
Yeah.
It's like it's like how many times you got to stick your hand in fire before you know it's hot. All right, this is hot. Let me not stick my hand in there. Let me understand that this is fire. Now, if people has demonstrated change and progression, yeah, you definitely give them a chance and stuff like that. But don't forget it's fire. Don't forget that snakes bite. Snakes have venom. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So
I do.
it's forgive, but not be foolish with it. It's being wise with your forgiveness. I'm definitely not going to hold you and try to retaliate. Most of the time, revenge and stuff like that. Unless we're at war or something to that effect. But um, for the most part, it's moving on. Either you win or you learn. I learned my lessons, but it would be stupid of me, to continue to do the same thing or continue to hang around you and continue to, include you in upper activities that can affect my livelihood or my business.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. And a lot of people tolerate relationships. A lot of people be in abusive relationships, mental abuse, physical abuse relationships for convenience because they're scared to make moves. They're scared to make change. A lot of people are around toxic employees, are around toxic individuals because they're scared to fire them or get somebody else. They're or you dealing with a toxic boss because you're scared to get another job.
Yeah.
So that fear again, that negativity begets more negativity. So that negativity got you paralyzed. You're scared to go somewhere else. You're not.
Yeah.
It makes you unsure of yourself. If you're dealing with a toxic boss, man, fire him. You can fire your boss. Go work somewhere else.
Yeah. And that's a good point, because fear leads to anger leads to hate
Right.
leads to suffering, and that's all negativity. It's the world of negativity. It just stems off fear, fear and
Right.
hatred, and it's a sad place to be, and I don't wish that upon anyone. Like you don't want to be in that realm of life, that negative life. You want to come to our side. You want to come to the light, the bright lights.
Right.
It's
One other
all.
thing before I get out of here, a lot of people, especially in my community, a lot of people are in relationships right now because they think that's what it is. You got an abusive wife that think men are robots, that we could dish out, that we could take all of the negative, and we're not supposed to say anything, like we have no feelings or whatever. That's a toxic relationship.
Yep,
And I
I
see a
agree.
lot of people that's married and stuff like that. It starts to rub off on them, and I could see the feminine. I could see the feminine energy coming off them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what a lot of people get, like men, and especially they forget they have that feminine energy, and
right,
it leaks out. Like especially in bad situations, you can just smell it because it's usually not a good energy vibe. When it leaks out.
so yeah, that you have to they think that's normal. That's not normal for to be in a relationship where it's all negative and you're not talking and stuff like that. That's not healthy. And a lot of people in my community, we have to we don't acknowledge mental health. Mental health is almost just as important as physical health. And negative, and being around a negative person, that can cause mental health issues
Hmm.
because it's going to rub off on you. If you're around a person that the elevator doesn't rise all over the top, pretty soon yours won't either, because you're going to think that's the norm.
Yeah, and that's like, I like how you said it in our last video too. I think about it a lot. The common unity,
Right,
community. You have to be able to have that sense of positivity, and not negativity, because
right,
then it's not was it positive times a negative is what a negative, right?
right. Well, protons and electrons always cause explosions.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
You know what I mean? So you can't have one person positive, one person negative. It's going to be an explosion every night.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I don't get people that's in the. I would rather I would rather be single and to be in my own positive bubble than to cohabit with somebody that's negative all the time.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
That's also in the Bible too. It's like he's like it's better to walk alone than bring your heart down.
Right. Then actually doing you're actually listening to something somebody tells you, and you're actually making yourself miserable by being in this relationship that's toxic. What fruit are you bearing by both of y'all not speaking to each other? And every time you do speak, it's a fight.
Yeah.
What are you around each other for? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and I
Why
hope
do,
every
why do we why do we do these things?
yeah, and I hope everyone listening to the video actually listens. Because it's the truth. It's horrible situations.
Right.
There's no
Right.
there's no point just being stuck. You gotta always keep moving forward.
Keep moving forward. Bosses, spouses, whether it's a boyfriend, husband, whether on the other side you got a girlfriend, wife, if they're negative, you don't have to put up with it. You get out, you get treated on what you get treated on what you put up with. If you're ill treated, this is because you're putting up with it. As simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's up to you to be able to change that negative lifestyle to the
Right.
positive one.
And I don't get it for the kids as well. What type of environment are you setting for the kids? If everybody's negative, you see in the mom and dad fight, you together for the kids. That's dysfunction.
Yeah. And the kids are going to grow up thinking it's okay.
Right. They're sponges. They're growing up thinking that negative is the answer. And a lot of us grew up like that. That you have to argue and you have to fight and you have to, be domestically violent or verbally abusive and thinking that's the norm. See how all this negativity begets more negativity. It's a constant cycle. So you have to break that cycle. You have to have the courage to break that cycle and to say, "Hold up, man, stop." And I'll sacrifice anything. That's why the Christ consciousness said you have to give up everything
Hmm.
in order to follow me.
That's true. The road to sanctification is a rough and rugged road.
Right. So you got to be willing to give it up. Give it up. Why are you attached? You see?
Hmm.
So let's go ahead and wrap it up, man. I don't want to keep y'all too long. Just give you with that nugget, man. Think about it, man. Heal yourself. You can't heal yourself if you're constantly picking at the wound. If you're constantly, opening the womb up. You know, you can't heal. You can't heal with somebody that's negative all the time. You can't heal if you got a negative, toxic boss. There's billions of jobs out there. You can't heal with toxic friends. There's billions of people you can be friends with. You know, it just is what it is, man. Make better choices. And if you get around positive people, you will make better choices. Abundance will come to you. So let's go ahead and wrap it up, man. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. If y'all like what we're doing, I know with the righteous path is the narrow path, and the positive path is almost like that medicine with no chaser, with no sugar. I know
Yeah.
that's what we give it to y'all, but I know we're not the only people on the planet because we have 1,000 followers.
Mhm.
We have a lot of people that listen to us on audio. So if you like what we're doing, tell a friend to tell a friend. And support us, the Power of Ownership podcast, and support the Cash App, $, the Power of Ownership. Whatever, 10, 20, of all the people that listen to us, we got about 800 people that listen to us every week. If everybody give $10 or whatever, we could have a lot more professionally produced YouTube. So take it from there. Let's go into the last thing. One of the last things, go to my website, www.hocmortgage.com. If you want to get a mortgage, now's the time. It's one of the you want to get in before school starts. Now's the time right now. So go ahead and apply this weekend. Investment property, so on and so forth. Refi. A lot of people refining like crazy. Interest rates are below threes right now. It's crazy. So you can't get any lower. If y'all want to book us for motivational speeches, sales training, anything, go to our website, my website, www.billionaireloanofficer.com. You can call me 24/7, 832-775-8357. Also at Billionaire Loan Officer on all social media. Go ahead, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, like, subscribe, so on and so forth. Steve, go ahead, tell them what you got going on, and let's go ahead and wrap it up.
At Steven_Contreras_90. You can find me at Steven Contreras on Facebook. I work for a nonprofit called the Institute of Health Research, and we are putting an event in the Woodlands, Texas, just 45 minutes north of Houston on August 28th. It'll be at Amerigo's restaurant, and we'll have 3 guest speakers from all around the world coming in and talking about how to keep your immune system built up in times of crisis. We'll be having all the necessary social distancing and I guess regalia concerning the pandemic and all the rules and regulations. It's $75 for a ticket. It's a nonprofit, tax deductible, and if y'all are interested in learning about health and wellness and how to keep your immune system up in times of crisis, in which we are in and will be in for a few years, you guys should come join our show if you're in the area. And again, just to go back, just one last thing, just for everyone out there dealing with that negativity and that depression and that mental state, you don't have to be there. You can always find help in our show like this, help in psychiatrists and doctors, family and friends. You just gotta get out of the loop. And I pray for everyone out there who's going through a rough time right now. That's all I gotta say.
Right. All you need is the courage to say, the courage and the desire to want to change.
Yep.
That's all you need. The courage and the desire, and help is out there. Help is out there. Change is out there. I've changed my life. Stephen Contreras changed his life. You don't have to go on the level that we're at, but you could be in a good spot, in a good positive spot, in a good healthy frame of mind by doing some very, very, very small changes. And you don't have to do anything. So keep that in mind. You don't have to do anything. You create what you want to create. So start doing what you want to do. Start taking the necessary steps to get out of where you're at mentally. I know we all been there. And until I shuffled the deck, like we talked about a few
Mhm.
episodes ago, until I shuffled the deck and got some new fresh cards, my life was headed to somewhere where I didn't want it to go. So I had to
Yep.
shuffle the deck and have a fresh set of cards and go from there. So, if you're out there listening, it's never too late. Never too late for change. Never too late to to shuffle the deck, never too late to put your life on a new trajectory. So it is what it is. Remember that God is a verb, and personal responsibility is your only savior. And with that, I'm going to say peace.